hope you've all had a fabulous week. Tonight, we have the brilliant Mister Ebby with us. He's an Irish singer, songwriter, and pianist who's braver at the piano than anywhere else. He describes it as his second voice. Please give it up for Mister Ebby.
Document our lives in detail, every single cup of coffee, every single meal, but we hold no stories. All this social networking just makes me feel alone as my friends try down to hide inside my phone, but never ring or show up at my door with news. Doesn't know. So I'm back to jerk off sessions in my room, feeling embarrassed and alone. Tonight no one's online and I'm afraid of my phone. I'm curled up in bed wishing I was somewhere else. I've tried to shrink my life down to fit this room, but it closes in and suffocates, and so it wears me down. I'm forgetting to be brave when I'm alone. Forgetting to be brave when I'm not. But it used to work, it used to work, it used to work. But this room is not my own. Used to work, it used to work, it used to work. But this room is not my own. It's not my home. I'm forgetting to be brave when I'm alone. Forgetting to be brave when I'm not. The fear is winning, but I can't let it win. The fear is winning, but I can't let it win. The fear is winning, but I can't let it win. It pulls so strong. I'm forgetting to be brave. I'm forgetting to be brave.
Thank you, Mr. Ebby. That was beautiful. Tell me, you come from a very musical family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you choose the piano? How was that like in the obvious choice?
I kind of, it was definitely, was it a conscious choice? I don't know. You can kind of say the piano chooses you. I do remember vividly being very, very small, and my sister, who was older than me, was learning piano, and she was practicing, and I have an aunt who plays piano as well. So I used to hear it a lot, and there's something really magical about a piano when you're a child. I think if you watch any small child go into a room where there's an upright piano, give them about 3 seconds and they'll be over going, you know, and just kind of poking at it going, what, this huge thing makes music? So it's kind of, that always drew me in. And then just the sound of the piano is something else. I fell in and out of love with it while I was a child and growing up. but it's always been there. It's always remained very constant. Uh, and I haven't looked back since I started playing.
Oh, I love that. So tell me, the first time you performed, like, was that a gig or was it a piano concert? Like,
My first performance in front of other people.
uh-huh.
Well, we're gonna sound like we're the Von Traps now, but the first, like, I used to sing in our local kind of folk group in the local church and stuff. But like, we used to, as a family, like, we always have sing song sessions at home, and we used to do, like, I remember having to sing with my family for I think it was a fundraiser for the school or something. I remember it was in the local primary school. That's my very earliest memory. But by myself, the first was probably with piano, doing some classical piano in a recital in a shopping centre when I was about 12. And it was very weird. Again, it was a charity thing. There's just quite a myriad of different performing experiences all the way up through my life, and then in theatre as well, then in musical theatre.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've never really had like a very defining this is your first gig moment.
No.
I've probably had a this is your first time playing a song that you wrote in front of other people moment, and that would have been later on when I was in university. So we had an open mic sort of singer songwriter night in our university that my brother, who is also a songwriter, he used to run. So that I think it was at that was the first time I ever sang a song that I'd written in front of other people. So that was interesting. But yeah, so a myriad of
Well, you'd
different performing
overcome
experiences.
stage fright like years before that, so it probably wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't really. I get nerves a little bit, before a performance, but it's very rare that I'll have a complete paranoid kind of like stage fright moment.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable doing it, I suppose. You
Well, that's
get
great.
nerves about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nerves are important. But
They
tell me,
are, yeah.
what was like the first song you wrote and why did you write it?
The very first song I wrote, I think I was 15. I might have been 14. I remember what year I was in school. I was involved in an Irish language acting group here in town in Galway, and we were putting on a show for Christmas, and we had our script and everything, but in the script there were all these songs, and we had no music for it. So they kind of put it out to anyone to write music for it. So I ended up coming back in the next week with a song written based on the words that were in the script. And it was the first song I ever wrote. And I ended up becoming the musical director of that show. And I wrote half of the songs for it, and the other half I set to Christmas songs because it was a Christmas era kind of themed show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wrote like half of the songs for a musical when I was 15, which is, I mean, I don't even remember those songs anymore.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Would think those songs would stick with you forever. I love
Yeah,
that.
little bits, but not a full song. Little
No.
bits. But again, all those words were in Irish. But then I started writing songs a little bit when I was in school still. When I was still around that age, I stayed writing a little bit. But I was more writing piano music. And then all through my university years, it was more of a focus on classical or, I started writing a few songs again. But really for me, like there's kind of a defining moment when you're kind of going, oh, songwriting, it's a cute little thing that, is there on the side of all of this other music work that I do. Because I was playing a lot of session music for bands. So as a lot of piano work for bands and singer-songwriters and jazz singers and everything.
Yeah.
But then I wrote one particular song and I wrote it very quickly. It's a little song called I Wish You Were Here. And it was the first song that I wrote that I really thought, oh, actually, I actually like this song, as opposed to, oh,
Yeah.
there's a song that I wrote. This was more like, I wrote this one, but I really like this one. I could play this one more. And I still do. I mean, it ended up on my record by accident.
By
But it's
accident?
by accident.
Oh.
I had extra time in my recording time in
Oh,
the
right.
studio, and it was like, well, what else do I, So we did two takes of that, and the second one, myself and the engineer just kind of looked at each other and went, that's fine. Let's do something else now. So that one ended up on the record. But I have a lot of love for it. It's over. Actually, this song is nearly 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
It will be 10 years old, I think, next month. So yeah, it's been around a long time. I've been playing it a long time. Um,
Amazing.
but yeah, it's a lovely,
Well,
it's a lovely little
on
song.
that note, shall we hear I Wish You Were Here?
Yes,
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
I wish you were here, so I don't sing to myself. I wish you were here. You know I hate sleeping alone. I wish you were here. The dog thinks I'm going nuts. I wish you were here. The film's on that you love. You look so good with a towel around your waist. You look so good, though you're only half awake. You look so good, wearing all my clothes. You look so good, and you don't even know. I wish you were here. My tears starting to get cold. I wish you were here. Night's drawing in too fast. I wish you were here, 'cause I don't cook just for one. I wish you were here. You know I miss you, hon. People turn their heads. You look so good in that eyeliner that you love. You look so good checking your face for spots. You look so good, oh, you've not shaved in a week. But I know it'll be okay. Oh, I know you'll be okay, 'cause we need it to be. We need it to be. I wish you were here, so you'd hear this song I've sung. I wish you were here, so I don't wake alone. I wish you were here. I've taken that dog for so many walks. I wish you were here. The film, while it's just about done. It's just about done.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, Mr. Ebby. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
So I'm curious, do you have like a certain musician that you admire or a certain inspiration? Like what motivates you to write music? That's probably like three different questions, but choose one.
Yeah, that's I've a whole slew of musicians and songwriters and artists that inspire me. There's a lot, and I think sort of the more you listen to and the more you read and the more you the more you engage with a variety of art forms, the more it informs your own art. I mean, I have songs that were inspired by novels that I read. All sorts of things will be an inspiration. Like there are certain artists and you kind of you see how they keep progressing and keep changing, they keep developing what they're doing. I mean, you look at some of the early albums that they might have released and then some of the ones they're doing now, and it's like they're completely different people, but that's the nature of people growing and getting older, and we change, and our voices change, what the stories we want to tell change. So, I have all of that on one hand, and then on the other hand, I'm very lucky in that a lot of my friends and my family are all musicians and artists and creators. So for me, it was quite it's very normal for us to have a big music session at Christmas or any family gathering, and I like when it's not happening for other people, I'm like, but is that not what a family does?
That's weird.
It's what do you do then? I don't understand. So it's always been very normal. Like I had my aunt teaching me how to draw and paint from when I was very young, and and we were always involved in music. So that always drives me in that it's not so much that something is there driving me, as it's more that that's just how I've always grown up. That's who I am. I had to live a few times without having a piano in the house or being able to practice at home, and it's very, very strange. So I mean, the absence of it is weird. That's very strange. I don't like that. So I don't know. I mean, what drives me then to write actual songs is like I didn't write very much for a long time. It was always bits here and there, and there was all this other stuff. But the last about 5 years or so, I've really focused on my songwriting, and I guess it's because at the moment it's the way that I can tell stories. It's the way that I have of telling stories. Like I write a lot of instrumental piano music, but although people can relate to that on an emotional level or on a musical level, you don't really get the story in it necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just have a lot of stories that I want to tell, and this is the way that I know how to do it. I'm very comfortable when I'm sitting at a piano.
Braver at the piano than anywhere else, right?
Absolutely.
I like that. When I read that, it was really cute.
Yeah, it's like
Sorry.
it's like my seat. Even when we have a family gathering, there's the piano, and although there's multiples of us who play piano, that's my seat.
Your seat.
I sit at the piano.
Yes.
I am safe
Back
there,
off.
it's nice.
Yeah. No, that's lovely. I think we should go straight on to a new song I really want to hear. Is that what they call romance?
Awesome.
That was
Yeah,
correct,
okay.
right? Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
There's you, me, and the street cleaners, and the seagulls are scuffling for scraps. And Supermax is closed, the sun's long up, but we don't notice. And I say, oh, I really like your boyfriend, and I don't want to break you up, but I really want to be kissing you. He's quite a perfect boyfriend who calls you every day just to make sure everything's okay. He's handsome and kind with an astute mind, he's polite, he's sweet. He's like a teddy bear with gel in his hair, and he always says hello when we meet. But you have the greenest eyes, the sweetest smile, You have the greenest eyes and the sweetest smile. Is this what they call romance? There's you, me, and the street cleaners, and the jerky puppet head of people half asleep. They're waiting on the first bus home and staring at the shop front's noses pressed against the glass. Oh, I really like your girlfriend. I know you don't swing my way, but I really want to be kissing you. She's quite a perfect girlfriend who calls you every day just to make sure everything's okay. She's beautiful, kind, with honest in mind. She's polite and she's sweet. She looks like a model with long blonde hair, and she always says hello when we meet. But you have the greenest eyes, the sweetest smile. You have the greenest eyes and the sweetest smile. Is this what they call romance? You'll find me in the dark, in the shadows I steal away. When the darkness surrounds you, come and stay. I walk around with my glasses off to romanticize the world. When you've nothing left to say, well, hide a while with me. It's you and me, yeah, you and me. You, me, and the street cleaners. Is this what they call romance? Oh, it's you, me, and the street cleaners. Is this what they call romance? Oh, is this what they call romance?
Thank you, Mr. Ebby. This song really makes me smile. I love it.
Yeah.
But tell me, I really want to hear something about your work with the Off-Beaten Path dancers. Do you want to tell us a bit
Okay.
about that?
Sure. I approached a friend of mine who is a dancer, because one of my songs on my record called Cuddle Solve, I wanted a dance video for it. So she had been studying dance again and got another dancer, and they choreographed this beautiful piece to it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous routine. And then out of that, we kind of realized we were working well together, and the two girls were working very well together, and we had a conversation about whether we wanted to do some more. And then they gathered some more dancers together, set up a dance company called Off-Beaten Path, who are on Google Plus as well. And they kind of asked me to be their musical director, sort of. So they came to me then with a dance piece that they had been choreographing and asked me to write music for it. So I wrote them some instrumental piano music. We've done a few performances now in the last few weeks as part of Culture Night here in Galway, and then Galway Dance Project and Dance Ireland on tour. We're showcasing some work here in Galway, so we were performing at that as well. And now now we're kind of looking at what the next pieces are. So we have two short pieces, and so it's really interesting for me because you get the privilege of seeing somebody else interpreting your work when it's your songs that they're dancing to, and that's really something else entirely.
yeah.
It's really beautiful. And
Must
now
be
it's kind of
amazing.
there's this dialogue between us where they're kind of going, well, this is a dance piece that we have, and we have these many counts already done, and it's, can you write some music for it? And that was a challenge because then I'm responding to their work, and we're finding this balance now where we're trying to work together. So it's a mixture of my songs and my piano instrumental writing work. So it's sort
Yeah.
of blurring the two different musical sides of me, which I'm finding challenging but really rewarding. So it's a new avenue, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
I think when you're working in music or any creative industry, you have to try and create work whenever and wherever you can, and with whoever you can, and create opportunities, create your
Absolutely.
spaces, find ways that you can be performing, find ways that you can do what you love to do. And I've always liked dance, but I never thought I would be working with a dance company, and that's what I've started doing at the moment. So it's an interesting flip side. So it'll be interesting for me to see how that ends up influencing my music.
Yeah. It must be
So
really interesting.
yeah, it's
Can't
really
wait to see.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I do recommend for anyone to collaborate with other artists.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really, it's brilliant. It's great.
Awesome. And you're working on your second album now,
I
right?
am, yeah. At this
So,
stage, I think I've all the songs written.
oh,
So,
yeah, you do? Awesome. So when are you
yeah.
planning for it to be released? Do you know anything
This
about
is
that?
always the question,
Yeah.
because what I'm trying to do now is I have the songs written, and I'm working on arrangements for some. I'm trying to figure out what instrumentation and what players I might want to bring in. So I'm at that kind of starting to actually plan what will become the recording sessions,
Yeah.
and then so then it's recording sessions after that, and all of
So we'll
the
just all
things.
have to be super patient.
You'll have to be a little bit patient. I really wish
Darn
I could just
it.
go in the studio tomorrow. I mean, I
Yeah,
have this
of
thing where I just want
course.
to go into the studio now, which is really good because it's driving me to do the work to be ready to go into the studio and somehow
Yeah,
find, the finance to cover it all. But it'll all be fine.
of course.
Um, so I would love to see it next year being out, but
The
that
money
would be
will
my.
come. It'll
It
all
will
work
happen.
out,
It
and
will
we'll have to
totally
be
happen.
patient, and we're super
Um,
excited.
Yeah, the tricky bit now is deciding which songs will make the recording sessions,
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
kind of like choosing which one of your children you like better. It's
Oh
not
God.
nice.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh.
It really is. It's horrible, but
Well, I'm
that's what
very
you have to do.
sorry, but you know what? We're actually running out of time.
That's
But because
okay.
you're gonna play two more songs for us.
I am.
But to you, all you viewers, if you just can't get enough of Mr. Ebby's body chamber pop, his quiet instrumental pieces, and wistful folk ballads, then you can go to his website, www.mrebby.com, and you can find links to everything. Next Wednesday, we have the Norwegian band Siva here, so don't miss out. And don't fret, because like I said, we have a couple more treats for you guys. Mr. Ebby with Kick the Wall and Wet Feet. See you next week.
Kick the wall and turn around. Look back where you came from. Kick the wall, don't hit the ground. Jump off, take control. Own your future, you will be fine. You're alive and soaring. So take flight, take flight, and kick the wall. Head down, unfocused, barreling ahead, I lost it all. I lost sight of it all, but I'll keep my head up now. And I look around, I'm in charge of it all. And I'm in control. And it's my future, and I'll be fine. I'm alive and soaring. So take flight and take flight. When sometimes it seems we're all the mesh of dots, seen too close. Step back, you'll see how we connect, and it'll be clearer. It'll be. both been lost. No one won. We can move on now. My cons have worn through, and I'm looking for the pros to help me get out from under these woes so heavy. I see words that could help me restore my hopes, reshot my desires that I lost somewhere after all those crossed wires that I'd had with you months ago set me on the road. Driving in circles around this small town and missing the exits like a tourist in a rental. Sat on the wrong side, caught out by unfamiliar road signs, or pointing in directions that don't correlate to the numbers on the map of a life that I'd sketched out on a napkin with you one day while sat in a cafe. With you, and we laughed at plans we made which would never come true, which I guess we both knew back then. So I walked through this town with my feet soaking through, feeling heavy, thinking on you, but perhaps it's just water soaking my socks. And I look at the pros rushing past on the street in suits on lunch breaks, in cafes where we once sat down. But I keep walking, and I stop in a shop and try on a new pair of shoes to keep out the rain and the water. And you